All right, let's try that again. We had a little bit of technical difficulties coming right out the box. Welcome to another episode of the CM Show. I am your host, Christopher Markland. Let's make sure that we got it. All right, we're good to go. So, y'all see what the title is. Y'all see what the topic is. Tonight, we are going to be talking about kinks. Now, with that being said and done, you already know that this is going to be a very adult show. So with that being said, let me make sure. Let's go ahead and get that disclaimer out of the way that this is adults only. Now, I am not a dating coach, dating guru, none of those things. I'm just a dude that has had a few wins, had a few losses, and as such, I'm not here to give you relationship advice. I'm not here to say, hey, you need to do this with your significant other. You need to do that with your, and then you're going to have a happy. Nope, nope. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. Instead, I tell you about the things that I went through in my relationships, the mistakes that I've made, the things that have worked for me, the things that have not, and then that's how we take it from there. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now, I know a little bit about kinks. I know a little bit about fetishes. I know a little bit about stuff, okay? So with that being said, I am going to turn it over to my man. And he and I, we're going to have, part of the conversation. Let me make sure that he can hear me. Can you hear me, sir? Uh-oh. All right, brother. Good deal. Let's say hello. Oh. Hold on one second. So, give me 1 second here. Let me make sure that this is working. Oh. So tonight's topic, as we can see right there, is, let me cancel this mode right here real quick. Give me 1 second, please, people. So I am the single one. I see you already making that comment. You already know what it is we're going to be doing tonight. Let me bring in the guest of the... Hello, Cheryl. How are you? Thank you for joining the conversation. We've got a few people in the chat tonight, but without any further ado, let me bring up my man Lorenzo. How are you doing, sir? Welcome to the conversation, my man.
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Let me make sure that everybody can hear you. That's right, tight. We got a few people in the chat saying that your boy is dressed up tonight. Yes, I am. So Lorenzo, let me stop recording right there. So Lorenzo, as I should say, Sir Lorenzo. Let me make sure. Now, there's a reason why, even before we even get started, there's a reason why. Can you explain to the audience? Let me let you do the talking, because you are what we, in my line of work, what we call a SME, subject matter expert. Could you explain to the audience what the Sir Lorenzo, why there's what the title means, please?
All right. Well, not to get too in depth into it, I've been involved in a lifestyle which entails BDSM for over 40 years. So there's training, experiences, and certain levels that have been attained to reach that title.
Okay.
Once you get into that, then you'll be explained a little bit more. But that's about the short version of that.
Now, it's funny that you say trained. Could you explain what exactly does training entail? Because I'm sure that a lot of people just think that, hey, you don't need to do anything in order to get into certain aspects of the lifestyle. But when you say training, what exactly do you mean by that, sir?
Yeah, the true BDSM, not studio and what we
The
see now
studio,
sensationalized.
right?
Yeah, that takes a long time. You have to learn about yourself first. You have to train your own mind. You have to learn your weaknesses, your strengths, and things take years before you can even start to delve into certain things like that. Um, if you see a 21-year-old master or someone that says that they've been doing this and they have certain training,
Hmm.
I would really doubt that, to be honest with you, unless you're a monk who's been raised a certain way. So after 40 years, you're still learning stuff, but there is a lot that I have experienced,
Hmm.
partook in, and things that I can do that a lot of people can't when you're
Is
truly into the BDSM lifestyle, the real BDSM lifestyle.
now that's interesting that you just say that. You said like the studio BDSM. I know that and I always rail against it, that there are so many things in our society that are performative. So I guess it stands to reason that the BDSM lifestyle community is essentially something similar. Is that what you're saying?
True BDSM, when you're practicing Dom sub relationships, dynamics, to the extent when you are truly old school, as I would say,
Hmm.
proper protocols and things like that, is not practiced as much. And then when people see certain movies, we'll keep it real on your show, 50
Yes,
Shades of
sir.
Garbage.
Oh,
When
sir,
when
tell
you
me how you
see,
really feel about that movie.
yeah, when you
He
see
said
things like
50
that,
shades of garbage, or as they say, basura. But go ahead, sir. Drinking game.
yeah, when you see that, what it does, it leads people to believe that's exactly how the lifestyle really is, but in fact, it's really not, and it's makes everybody become a dom or a dominatrix overnight. I say that you can order a dommy now for 19.95 on QVC, and
So you can
the
have the
second
shit
one,
prime.
yeah,
You can get it
and you can get
prime.
the second one for free, with shipping and handling. But if you're going to be true to it, you have to
Yeah.
be very careful, because what's happening is people are giving up their lives to an individual. They're giving their mind, body, and soul, and then they're finding out that this individual has just been talking, and now they're out there. It leads to mental problems, suicides, and even for the fake dom or dommy, they have to deal with the consequences of this. So there's different levels of things, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Get into the whole thing.
Got you. You know what? I definitely appreciate that. And what you said earlier about keeping it real, that is definitely something that I do strive to do on my show. It's that's why I have to give the disclaimer in that, hey, we do talk about some adult stuff on this show, and therefore you have to, because we live in a plastic society where what's real isn't necessarily real, and you can basically make yourself out to be whatever you want to be. So one of the things that I definitely do on this show, and I really appreciate you saying as such, is that, hey, what's real isn't has to be discussed. Let me put it that way. There are real things that we
Mm-hmm.
have got to talk about, real things that we need to work through, and have those conversations. So I definitely appreciate you about that. So first things first, I like to define the terms. All right.
All right.
So let's talk about. Sir, that's a whole lot of voice you just put out right there, my man. Hold on one second for me. My man hit him with all the voice. That's my dude right there. Hold on. Could you say that one more time, Lorenzo? I'm testing the audio real quick. Lorenzo. Could you say that one more time, Lorenzo? I'm testing the audio real quick. Lorenzo. All right, hold on one second. We got a little bit of an issue real quick. Let me correct that audio. Lorenzo. All right, hold on one second. Tell you what, man. It's one thing about this. It's one thing about this live shows, my friend. We're gonna have some fun with it. Let's see. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, because they can hear me, but they damn sure can't hear you. She said, "Damn." All right. Give me 1 second, man. All right, give me a mic check, Lorenzo. Give me a mic check.
Testing on the
There we
Christopher
go.
Markland show.
My man. Let me make sure we got it.
Mm-hmm. Testing on
All right, we're good to go. So on the screen right there, what we have is this, right? Kinks versus fetish. What's the difference? Now, they define a kink as something that arouses you that is considered unconventional or outside the sexual norm. Now, a fetish is defined as a sexual act, body part, or object that is almost always necessary for you to become aroused or to enjoy sex. So, Lorenzo, based on that, what do you think, my friend?
Well, let's hit the kink. Let's get to that kink first. Remember, a kink could be a state of mind for every individual. What's kinky to you may not be to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. So and to my audience, I'm sorry, Lorenzo, to the audience, if you do feel so inclined, if you do feel so bold, drop what your particular kink is. Again, this is an adult show. Yeah, the sound did go out. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. This is an adult show. So I'm hoping that I'm speaking with adults out there. So what I want to know is this. Drop your particular kink. And also, I am going to be dropping the link. So we're going to be using StreamYard tonight. So if you wish to come onto the show, the link is there. If you don't want your face to be shown, that's fine. We have to see you. But if you don't want your face shown, that's fine. We'll make sure that you are blocked out. Okay. So I especially want to talk to the ladies, but everybody, of course, is invited. Make sure your audio's connected, and we definitely want to hear what you got to say. But if you want, please drop your particular kink in the chat or your fetish, whichever one. I'm going to drop mine now. I apologize, Lorenzo. What were you saying, my friend?
Well, we were talking about a state of mind for individuals. Their kink could be different. Where you feel that you're kinky, someone else may not, but it's kinky to you, and that's all that matters. An example of something like that is you could have sex in the afternoon, which is kinky to you because you always have sex at nighttime. So now by you changing a little bit, it becomes a kink.
I see. It's a deviation from the norm.
That's right.
Okay.
Different from, like, say, a fetish. You might have a foot fetish. You always have to have a foot involved. But with the kink, you may have a foot fetish in a shoe. Or you might like a foot in the shoe, socks, different types of nail polish or something like that. That's how the kink part of it is for you.
Okay.
Some other things might be outside sex, wax play, swinging, maybe dirty talking, anything like that just adds to make it different than what they say conventional sexual practices.
Got you.
What you'll call straight or vanilla sex.
Now, obviously, we know that there is a difference with the art. Do people? Let me ask it this way: do people actually have true kinks? What is the percentage of people that have real kinks as opposed to those that have fetishes? Because a fetish is something, or I think a fetish seems to be more. It may come and go, whereas a kink is a little bit more serious.
Yeah, a kink. More people, I would say, on average, you have certain kinks, things that you like. when you start to get into fetish, these are things that arouse you.
Got you.
Certain things like from clothing or items, or something particular, object, a body part, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But your kink can stay with you. The fetish can change on certain things. Um, but yeah, for most people, and remember, their kink can change also
Really?
from day to
Okay.
day, from person to person. You
Now,
may.
now that's interesting. I got somebody that actually she's more. She's actually into fetish play, and one of the things that she does is foot toe stuff. Now, tell me a little bit about that while I set, at least your experience with that.
All right, so she's into foot fetish,
Yes, sir.
either being the participant or she's using her feet for somebody else. Either
She's
way,
u-
that's her.
yeah, she's using her foots for other people. Yes.
All right, well, that's a fetish, and she can
Okay.
get enjoyment from doing that, or she can get enjoyment from the other person getting enjoyment. But that does
Interesting.
fall, yeah, that's on the
You know
fetishes.
what? I'm going to ask you about that as well because by definition, you would consider yourself to be a
Myself, I'm specializing into the BDSM lifestyle.
right, but you're a dom, right?
Yes, I'm a
I just want to make sure I got the terms correct because that's
that.
the nomenclature I should
Let's
say.
Yeah, let's say it can be used specifically in the BDSM lifestyle,
Okay.
wax play, things like that. So, but no, I am a dom in the BDSM lifestyle.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Okay. Okay. Well, let me I'm trying to bring this in properly, and of course, show decides to act a donkey. Hold on one second, y'all. We're gonna get this right. Hold on. Um. So you said over 40 years, Lorenzo. Can you tell me
Yeah, I
how?
was.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it like this: when I was younger and started up in New York City, my father was able to get me into places that I really shouldn't have been,
Mm,
and I was able to meet people that I would have never met. I got to see things and was mentored by individuals. Back in those days, you didn't have social media, so it was back pages of newspapers, secret knocks, code words, gatekeepers. It
really?
was underground. You were considered deviants when you had something that was different than traditional,
Mm.
especially in the African American community. You didn't really see too much of that, also, but I was able to get involved in places. Started off very slow. I mean, you had to clean up after events and things like that. You really shut up. You listen. You
When you
learned the
say clean
craft.
up, you mean as far
Yeah.
as, for lack of a better word, blood kind of thing, or what?
Whatever was going on, I hadn't made it to a level of anything. You
Got you.
start humble. You have to get your mind right first.
Okay.
One thing we learned was the anatomy of a body. Everybody wants to choke everybody. They love that. I choke people. I choke people. But
Right. Right. Right.
if you don't learn the body, what are you really doing? I mean, you should be trained in how to choke. Do you choke to stop the breathing, the circulation, the blood? Have you ever choked someone out and brought them back?
I learned that there's, you don't cover, not, it's not the larynx. Yeah, it is a larynx. You don't, the windpipe, where you put the pressure. Now, that was, tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, what you're talking about is to immobilize somebody. I did law enforcement for 35 years in law enforcement, and years ago, we used to have what we call a carotid chokehold, where it was legal to really
Mm-hmm.
choke
Mm-hmm.
people. And there's ways of choking people to render them unconscious. But in scenes in BDSM, people are playing around choking. They don't even know how the body works when it comes to that. There's people trying to do knife play, but have you ever cut someone?
Right.
You know, because you're playing around with things like that. And this is where the years of training in extreme BDSM play. Not everybody can do certain things like
You
that.
said knife
It,
play?
there's knife play, there's real knife play, there's blood play, there's weapon play, live weapon play. There's things that are done that no one does. Not everybody's trained in that sort of stuff. You'd be surprised, as we'll show when we get into fetishes,
Mm-hmm.
how many fetishes and what some of the unique type of fetishes are.
So if you and that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier as well, as far as like disclaimers and things like that, right?
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, you have to be very careful when you take things to a different level. And really, most people that are doing things like that, you're never going to see them. You're not going to see them at these events. They're not advertising. When you do what you do, you don't have to tell the world. Um, you really don't want people to know. There's a different society for people like that.
For whatever reason, the link didn't work for our second guest. So I am trying to work through that as well. Let me try this link one more time, y'all, because hey, Lorenzo, the person that is jumping on, she just sent me a text. She's like, I like this man. You say you got an effect on
Oh, she
him.
does. She does.
Yeah, man. Wait a minute, Lorenzo. Was that a blush, sir?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Until
see.
we have
Let's
her
see.
in a certain situation to see how much she likes.
Well, damn, sir. Tell us how you really feel, brother.
Like I say, BDSM is not about the pain, it's about the trust. So once you trust someone, you can take yourself to a whole different level of ecstasy that you never thought you had.
One of the things that I've always said is that any relationship, whether it's a BDSM or just a standard relationship, you got to have sex, communication, finances. That's my big three. But at the end of the day, those three allow trust to sit at the very top. So I use the analogy of a stool, and if any one of those legs of the stool start teetering, start tottering, then the trust is going to fall off. But once things are in balance, once trust is there we go. That's when you have a solid relationship. And first of all, let me fuss at I am the single one real quick. I don't have any kinks. My fetish is safety, security, and champagne. Ma'am, that's not a kink. That's a party. That's two different things. All right. Can you hear me, sir? Damn it. He cannot. All right. Let me add myself. Okay. Let me try to bring you on, ma'am. So, let's talk, ma'am. Let's talk. Tell us a little bit about what you do, if you don't mind. Can you hear me? Hello, T. Can you hear me? Oh, that's right. Y'all can't hear me. Hold on a second. Hold on. God damn it. We're going to get this thing right. Hey, T, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
All right, cool.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Lorenzo, can you hear T?
Hey, everybody.
Let me
Yeah, I can hear her real good.
All right, hold on. Let me make sure that the audience can hear you.
Okay.
All right, cool. So the question that I asked was, tell us what exactly is it that you do? Oh, wait a minute. Hey, did you hear that little sinister laugh you just gave us?
Yeah, I heard it.
I am a foot fetish model. I do the modeling as far as taking pictures, video, and what they call foot worship, where you just
Foot
like
worship?
massage and
Okay.
playing. Yes, massaging, playing with the toes, sucking on the toes, and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me ask you this: how do you procure your clients? Because for you to be worshipped, that means you have subjects that worship you. How do you procure your? How do you go about getting people? Because that's something that Lorenzo himself just spoke about. In that, okay, people have to move in silence, that kind of thing. So how do you
Correct.
find people?
Well, I do have a site on Instagram.
Okay.
But as far as now, my main thing is because you do have some people out there that just kind of like want you, and it can get a little risky. But
Mm,
my thing is I gotta at least have a conversation, see what what you're about. But a lot of people don't want you to know. So a lot and a lot of clients that I deal with are actually people I've gone to school with, people I work with, but you just never know, until you kind of put that idea out there and I'm like, oh yeah, that's I love that.
okay. And you know what? That's the funny thing. What you just said, that people don't want you to know. And I've always, that I think is part of the issue, in that we all have that thing that we like, right?
Hmm.
It's just a matter, can we find the safe space? How did you get to a point to where your clients trusted you enough to not only be vulnerable, but also to give up their hard-earned money in the process? What did you have to do in order to do that?
Basically, like I said, just kind of gain trust. Don't be naive, of course. But gain trust. And like I said, most of the clients are actually people I've known most of my life. So it was just the fact of me posting my feet one day online, and I was just like, "Oh my lord, I didn't know my feet. I thought I had some cute toes, but I didn't know they were that cute." But people just kind of like, "Hey, how much for so and so, and can you?" And I'm like, "Okay, great." But it's just
Mm,
you do have to put yourself out there, but you can't be naive with it either.
got you. Now let me
You
ask
kind of
you,
know who's serious and who's not really.
how do you know? I mean, what is it that lets you know that, okay, this person's serious? I mean, just like what is it? Is it just how they move? Is it something that they say? What is it?
Well, yeah, definitely moving, definitely saying. And for instance, I had one guy that said he made shoes, and he was just like, "Oh, I want to make you these pair of shoes," and da da da. So I had to kind of do my research. I'm like, okay, who's heard of this person? Because most of the people in that world kind of know each other, but they don't think they know each other.
Mm,
And I looked it up, and it was just this phony thing. Somebody had posted ads was like, "Do not, he's a scam." So it's you got to do your research before you can just jump out there with a complete stranger.
that's
Really.
it. That's interesting, that
Um,
what you said about in that world too, because that is, and Lorenzo, correct me if I'm wrong on this. In every kink slash fetish space, it's its own community, as as it were. And people, like, I think, tend to, you start seeing familiar faces. Is that, to your, is that something you would agree with, or is it a little different? Lorenzo.
Yeah, in some respects, when you get to
Okay.
certain fetishes, there's a network, and people do kind of know each other. With her, foot fetish is such a big thing. I mean, that's there's so many people that are into that. You would be amazed. Um, Financially, she can kill them with foot fetishes, and that's everywhere. It's getting to the point
right.
where they don't care if you see them or not. I mean, they'll suck on toes in front of a crowd. They just don't
That
care.
is true.
You
That
know,
no, that is so, and it's a turn on for some people.
yeah, and
Well, I tell
that's
you what,
always
I do
been
like exhibitionism, so I can understand that. I get it.
yeah. What I would ask her is, no, other than the money and how great that is, what is the excitement level or pleasure that you get from performing that service?
Great question.
I would just say mainly it's a turn on because you're like this person is actually into my feet. That's one thing. It's like the massage. You still have the nerves kind of tingling going on. It's not like I would say sucking on a boob if I could say that on here.
Oh,
It's
yes, you can. I
okay. It's kind
believe
of like one of
strongly
those
in the sucking
sensations.
of breasticles on this show, but I
Breast.
digress. Please continue.
Gotcha. But it'll give you that type of sensation. But then too, you have to know when to cut it off because it can go real far, real fast.
Explain.
For
Now
sure.
that's
All right.
interesting.
So
Or go ahead,
let me
Lorenzo.
ask you. Let me ask you this then. Like you say, when you have to cut it off, and I know what you're talking about. But for the Markland show, have you gotten to a point where you've been performing this service and you reached that level that you were even out of control yourself and allowed it to happen? And the other thing is, what would it take for you to reach that level when it comes to your foot fetishes? What can they do to your feet that take you to that level?
Well, I would say there have been a few times, but that's what you have to at the end of the day phone a friend. But it's just like you have to remember it's business. It's not pleasure. I mean, it's a pleasurable business, but it's business.
Mm.
If that answers the question. But yeah, it's all about the nerve endings and the senses. It gets there, but it's just you have to have that mental boundary where it's just like,
Hmm.
no, I'm not taking it past that level.
Mm.
All right. What are some of the most unique things that people have wanted to do to your feet?
Oh my goodness.
Did you? Oh my goodness.
Ejaculate. Um,
Really?
Yeah, because
yes.
I've seen some stuff, so I know what.
Yeah. Now though,
Yeah.
I hadn't gotten that far. I don't know if I will. But that's where the big paydays are.
Hmm.
But some people have just wanted videos, me taking my shoes off, taking off stockings. Some guy said he wanted me to step on his face. I've had some guys say step on their balls, like stomp on them. And I'm
Hmm.
like, no, 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 thank you. And that was
S-
definitely when it was really new to me. So it was like, no, what is going on here? Like it's a whole world. It really is.
Step
Yes.
on your what to
Yes.
like aggressively step on them?
They got ball
Yes.
busting, as they call it.
Yes.
She can kick them, step on them. The money is incredible. Now she's going to get a request for that scat
Yeah.
to have that on your feet and have them eat that off of your feet. Have you ever gotten that request?
No, I have not.
Well, that might be coming because
Oh, okay.
Coming. I see what you said. I see what you did there.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay. Are you looking to expand and take on new clients? And if so, how are you going about doing that? Or are you comfortable with your clientele that you have now?
Well, I actually am looking on to take on, but just maybe like one or two more.
Gotcha.
Because it's just the schedule is getting kind of hectic.
Mm,
So that's
that's a
the
good
only
problem to
reason why.
have.
But yeah, true. That's true. I can't
Yeah.
complain. But yeah, a few more.
Okay. Well,
But like I said, I just have my page on Instagram.
so you're not even doing real intense marketing per se because supply and demand. If you do too much marketing, then you're going to have more than you can probably
Yes.
deal with. Because like Lorenzo
Yes.
was saying, there's money in it, and there are people that really enjoy this fetish. And again, like you said, I am here for everybody's fetish. It's just a matter of finding people like yourself so that others can facilitate the things that they like.
Right. 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 And
Yo.
they are out there. It's a trip. I tell you that much. But it's different. But I like it. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I can. I appreciate you coming on. I really do. I like the
Well,
fact
thank
that
you.
you're open enough to discuss this because it's a real thing, and this is what people enjoy. This is what
Hmm.
people do. Now it's just a matter of there's absolutely nothing wrong with it because all your clients are adults, right?
Right. Correct. Oh yeah.
There you
Correct.
go. So and you're an adult, right?
Oh yes.
So and last I
21 plus
checked.
shipping and handling.
I
21
love it.
plus
I
shipping
love
and
it.
handling.
I'm telling you, man. Yo, thank you for coming on. I definitely
No
appreciate it.
problem. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
All right. See y'all later. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Okay, so Lorenzo, we have another guest.
All
Um,
right.
Miss B, are you there? Ah, she has us muted. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can unmute the mic remotely. I cannot. She has to unmute herself.
Hmm.
But
Hello.
there she is.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Lorenzo. Can you hear her?
Oh yeah, I can hear her very good.
So, welcome to the CM show with my special guest, Sir Lorenzo. What you got? Tonight's topic is kinks. So I take it that you're calling about your kink, your perversion. Talk to me. What you got?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. I can
All
hear
right.
you now. I have my headset on.
There you go.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, I took a long quiz. So I'm really interested to know more about what a switch is. I'm interested to know about how I can get more into the things that I think I enjoy.
What is it that you enjoy?
I don't know. I enjoy a lot. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of boundless. I'll try anything once.
Okay. Well, if you took the test, what were the results of the test? And the test that we're referencing for everyone in the audience and also on the rebroadcast is there's a BDSM I think it's BDSMtest.org. And on that test, and I'm going to post my results in a second, and Lorenzo and I we can discuss that. But it asks you a series of questions, and with those questions, it then gives you it analyzes the results and tells you based on your responses to those questions how your particular kink slash fetishes align. So with that being said, what was your highest percentage kink from the results of the test?
I'm trying to find them. I thought I had them, and I don't think I do.
Okay.
I
I think
think you may have them.
you had actually sent them to me, and from what I see here, 94% switch. So Lorenzo, could you what exactly does that mean in your expert opinion?
Well, in the BDSM community, switch can be top and bottom, submissive and dominant. Some people do believe that they are switch, and they truly are.
Okay.
But you have to understand everything fully to, really know if that's what you are. You can be a dominant, but like to be dominant in different ways,
Really?
and not be a switch. But
Can you give me some examples of that?
if you know that you're a submissive, and this is a true submissive in every way, shape, and form, and then the next day you want to be dominant in every shape and form, that's a switch. Now, if you're dominant to the fact where you want to instill some discipline on somebody, the next day you want to instill discipline, but you also want to engage in it where they have a chance to do something to you a little bit. You just may be a dominant that likes to engage in this and that, but you're not a full switch if you're taking it to that level. Now, in your mind, what is it that you like to do or have done where you believe that you're a switch?
I tell you what, let me interject this real quick, and maybe this may add a little bit of color to that question, Lorenzo. She's 94% switch, but 92% submissive, 80% vanilla. So with that, what could you the question one more time?
You said 80 vanilla and 90 something switch. From
No,
those numbers,
so we're talking about 94% switch, 92% submissive, 87% vanilla.
yeah, it is leaning more that she's more of a submissive person that likes to engage in certain types of kinks or fetishes where she may be a little bit more aggressive in those actions, but ultimately gets more pleasure from being in a submissive role based on those numbers right there.
Got you.
That would be true. I would say, however, I probably don't get to live that out because I feel like in that aspect of my life, I am the one that's always more aggressive or more dominant, and I don't really get the opportunity to be submissive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
does.
you haven't been per se with a partner
Right.
that is more dominant than you.
Correct.
So you're always taking the lead in certain things. You have to, well, I'm not saying leave who you're with, but at some point, if you decide to, you're going to have to seek someone else out that is in a more dominant role, or you will never fulfill that part of your,
Right.
your
Yep.
life.
That's true. Yeah.
And is that also something what our last caller was referencing, where where we were talking about, a safe space, not necessarily just a place to a literal place, but a being able and for you to open up, and also for your partner to be open to accept
Right.
that. Is that part of what you're,
It is. It's
is
kind
it?
of like once you get, it's kind of like that's once you get in, then you find out there's so much more to it. But just getting there, I have to get to that dominant, the person that's more dominant than me, to be able to unlock the key to be. I'm willing to do that stuff, but I got to be willing to do that stuff with somebody that I trust.
Trust is key.
Yes. Also, Chris, she has to really do a lot of, research and all this, because that stuff can wind up being things of kink, fetish, or BDSM.
Mm-hmm.
Her wanting to be dominated could be in a BDSM setting, or it could be in a fetish setting. So there's so much that, to determine what it is that she really is desiring. So starting with research, you really have to find out what it is you really like to start heading in those directions to find that individual or individuals that can satisfy that need.
Mm-hmm.
So, where is a place that she could start that research? Because I know, like for instance, I'm not sure what city you're in, caller, and we're not even going to dig into that. But is aren't was that a giggle? Aren't there certain other areas like what do they call them, dungeons or something like that?
Mm.
Yeah,
Lorenzo?
there's a lot of dungeons and things like, there's dungeons everywhere. There's sex clubs everywhere. There's swingers clubs. There's everything. But you got to do some research on your own before you start even getting to that level. Find out what it is that you really think you like and Google it. Find out if this is something that you might be interested in. If it does fall under the BDSM style, there are dungeons to go to. There are munches, there are meetups where you can just talk and listen. Don't
Did
Mm.
rush
you
into things at
did you say a
all.
munch? What is a munch?
It's like a little get together
Hmm.
at some of these
Okay.
dungeons and things where they kind of talk to people. They get to see you. They start vetting you, make sure who you are, things like that.
Hmm. Okay.
But she has to find out what it is that she really wants first before you even head in that direction. And then once you do, take your time with it, because this is your life. This isn't overnight. This is something that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. And you could possibly enjoy yourself to a level you have no clue.
And
Right.
also, it may even be possible, or let me ask as opposed to, is it possible that at one of these munches, dungeons, etc., that you could actually run into the dom or the sub that could fulfill what it is she's looking for?
It's possible, but you don't want to run into that person that first time either, because there's a
Gotcha.
lot of game. It's a lot of games going on. So everybody, you just have to take your time
Hmm.
and look, learn, observe. Don't rush into anything, because there's trueness out there, and then there's fakeness out there also.
Let me ask you this, Miss B, caller. If you, what is the, have you ever had a partner that you were able to go a little bit above and beyond with? In other words, you were able to get the juices flowing, as it were, and you're like, hey, or have you not even been able to really tap into that?
Maybe just probably with just one partner, and it's barely scratching the surface. When I say barely, it's barely. It's just like you can just tell when you want to be with somebody who feels comfortable. And just because I feel the way I do, I don't want me to push anyone else out of their own comfort zone. If you want, and I respect that. So therefore, it's just something I just, I will push, but if I feel like, well, no, I shouldn't, I don't think they're that comfortable, then I'll just back down and leave it as is.
I don't think you should back down. I think it should be. Let me stop.
I can't go full steam ahead.
What do you think about that, Lorenzo? As far as her just being able to get a little bit moist as opposed to getting full blown wet.
What I would really want, is like what is a major thing that really start off? Let's say like you like to be restrained. Is that a major thing? All right. So majorly you like to be restrained. Restrained in what kind of matter?
But I don't think it has been at the level that I could probably really enjoy it. It's probably just, a beginning stage of it, but nothing where I'm really bound or, tied, or that does sound fun, or ropes or things like that. That does sound fun, but I haven't ran into anyone that would be like, yeah, let me, hog tie you.
All right. So you want to be restrained in a way differently, and it could be rope,
right?
It could be chains,
right?
It could be all kind of things. But
I've seen the PVC pipe restraint where she was in the PVC joints. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. My bad.
Yeah, but there's all kind of that wrapping. You could be wrapped, and then it's saran wrap if you want. But it's the act of being restrained, and then
right.
Then it could be from what happens after you're restrained that
Right.
Now, there are events that you can find online where they have, like, say, cons, fetish con, this con, that kind of con. You can go to these, and they always have demonstrations, and they'll always ask for a volunteer where you may just want to dab in there a little bit and have them tie you up as a guest or something like that, and kind of get a feel and some knowledge on that. That would be very well to start in your journey.
That's actually a great, that seems like a great place to start.
Yeah, because it's safe. You're in front of people, and you can start learning from scratch, and you can talk to these people as you go along. Get a finding for that.
Okay.
And though you can find those places you said on Google.
You can go online. You can type in kink events. BDSM events.
Okay.
And they'll come up with listings all over America for the whole year.
What about on, say, like social media, Facebook, or would you recommend someone that an event that advertised like that, or would you rather a more low key type marketing?
You can do that. You can go on FetLife, get a membership on FetLife, and they'll have a list of all the events in every state. Every event, that people put in there like that. But on social media, type in things like fetish events, fetish cons, and people advertise. You'll find one like that.
Interesting.
Can you just give me the different categories? So you said BSDM and then
BDSM.
B. Yeah.
Bondage, domination, sadomasochism. Am I right?
Yes.
BDSM.
Right.
Kink, and then fetish. Can you just give a couple of maybe quick examples of those categories, and then what someone who is starting out, what maybe is a better category over another to start with? Maybe if you're interested in more than one.
All right. So you want to get down to the basics on different fetishes and things like that.
Right.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
All right. Well, then tell me what you want. If that's what you want, you tell me what you want. All right. Don't play with me.
I feel like you saying something, Lorenzo.
That's right. Don't play with me. Tell me what you want if you want it.
You told me to tell you I damn near came to this goddamn.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Don't say it like that now.
Does she need a minute, Chris?
Hey, I don't know, bro. Hey, you do you, my man. Now? Hey, you saw I pulled out my note cards. I'm about to take notes. All right, first of all, you sit your ass up in the chair, let your voice get super deep, and you tell her what the fuck you want. All right. Check.
That's all
got
you
you.
gotta do.
All right. just a little example of some fetishes. All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll let you get yourself together. You good,
I'm
Chris?
I'm I'm good now. I got it together.
All
Thank
right.
you. I appreciate that though.
All right. So fetish wise, because I know you're really ready to explore. You have
Yes.
bondage with different types of apparatuses. You have voyeurism, foot fetishes, latex, leather. You may be aroused by public hair,
Mhm.
insects, statues.
Mm.
You may like to dress up like animals. Some
Mhm.
people are aroused by amputees, corpses. Some people like to be blindfolded.
I like that.
Oh, she got that one.
Blindfolded.
All right.
Yes.
You
Because
probably
then
might
I
like.
can create my own imagination, and that's a good thing.
Well, you can, or the person can decide what your
Okay.
imagination's going to be.
Okay.
All right. Or breath play. You might be into breath play also, combined with, blindfold and things like
Mm.
that.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think you would like breath play, sensory deprivation, which can entail blindfolding. It can entail where you don't smell, you don't hear.
Mm.
Devices are used on you at that point, different senses on your body, different ways that you're bound, different things like forced orgasms while you're bound a certain way with the sensory.
Mm.
You have a towel under you right now, or what? Let's keep it real here,
Well,
Trish.
shit, I'm
This is
about
what you
floating out
want.
this mug now.
This is an adult show. Let's keep it real.
This is an adult
That's right.
show.
But
Sir, when I tell you I'm over here taking notes, bruh.
that's right. When you combine all those things,
Hmm.
and you have the right person that's doing these things, and they know what your level is, now they decide if they want to take you to a higher level.
Right.
And see, that's where you get into people that know how to do these sort of things to you.
Hmm. Okay.
And you have to trust them, and you can open yourself up to that.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
So
thank
that's
you.
just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Wow.
Oh yeah, there's so
It's a
much.
strong beginning.
hmm Now dry yourself off, and we'll continue to talk.
Oh,
Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you.
thank you, caller. I appreciate it.
Thank you kindly.
Anytime.
All right.
It's kind of let me do this. It's really funny. I don't think people understand the power of confidence in no matter what type of relationship it is. But
hmm
confidence goes a long way. You agree or disagree, sir?
Oh, definitely, definitely. You be confident in yourself, um, and be determined on achieving what you want. If it's something you desire, you have to go after it. You can't settle. If you settle, you'll always have that in the back of your mind, and you'll never be able to experience that level in intimacy and anything in life.
Confidence is key.
hmm
Um, in your experience, is it usually? Well, I know it. Let me find this. How important is aftercare? Let me ask that question. And could you define what it is for the audience and exactly what it does and the necessity of it being there?
Well, now you're getting into role plays, and you're getting into my department now in the
All
BDSM
right.
world. Because now you've had your kinks, things that you like, your fetishes, things that turn you on, that you get arousals. But now you're ready to take things to another different level, into the BDSM world. And this is the BDSM world where you have role plays and things like that. Aftercare is very important afterwards because you don't know, or you may have never been taken to this spot before. One thing in some role plays, you have to be very careful in finding out people's medical history, their insurance, things like that. Have they ever experienced this before? Because you have to be able to know how they're experiencing something to stop or start. You know, that's where you hear safe words, things
Mm.
like that. But a lot of people will play around with folks who are reaching a certain level and you haven't even talked beforehand. You don't know they can have a heart problem, and you've taken them to that level. So it can be very dangerous. It's not something to play around with.
I've definitely have heard that. In fact, wasn't that there was a show on television a while back? I think it was called "Sex Sent Me to the ER,"
Hmm.
and it's like, hey, we got people. I am the single one says I feel like they should exchange numbers. No, and yeah, that was interesting. But what you're saying is and it's something I didn't realize until I started. And okay, just for my audience, let me say this: I am not into that particular kink BDSM. I am what they would call lifestyle adjacent, meaning I am close to it. Obviously, is how I then got to know Lorenzo. And it's being that I'm a writer, I research what I write, but also I'm dabbled in a few things, right? But what I've learned is that everyone has their particular thing. So I've always wanted to learn as much as I can without necessarily getting into that because it's not necessarily my thing. And just like I am the single one says, hashtag kink responsibly. Exactly right. So it's interesting to me that there are masters of their domains, you being one of them, and just learning more about what it is that you do and how you move within your discipline. And just to know that you've been doing it for 40 years is in and of itself pretty damn interesting.
Yeah, and for safety reasons, when I mentioned that garbage movie that had 50, levels of garbage, things like that make people do things thinking they are an expert at something.
Mm.
One mistake you'll see, and you'll see it at every meet, every con, everywhere that they sell, let's say, floggers. Someone will grab a flogger, someone else will stand there and they'll start flogging. Oh, this is nice. And immediately they'll hit someone's kidneys in their back, which is a
Shit.
spot that you never touch. But if you don't know the body's anatomy and where you cannot hit too hard, you're going to violate that right away. And
Yep.
it's just little simple things like that, handcuffing people. If you don't really know how to handcuff, you can really hurt somebody like that. Certain types of rope play, you can do nerve damage to people if you don't know what you're doing. You know, fire play, you could burn
I've
somebody up.
seen that.
Yeah,
That fire
wax
play
play.
is serious.
Yeah, I've seen people do wax play with candles that are not made for wax play.
Right.
In the norm, there are certain candles that burn at certain temperatures, at certain heights that you drip from. And then, when you get into another level, there are people that want the real candles that are going to leave a mark. This is what they desire. But you have to know this. You have to know how to do this. And a lot of people are playing games out there because they watch something and they believe they know what they're doing.
Right. Not to mention, you have a store that sells it right around the corner,
That's right.
so you can
And,
go in
and
and buy all
remember,
of the accoutrement to go
yeah,
with it. Yeah.
and everything is consent. And you got to remember, in America,
Yes.
BDSM technically is illegal, and you have to remember that. A person cannot give another person consent to physically assault them in America. It doesn't
That's
matter if you like it or
interesting.
not. Legally, you can't do that. So Police come knocking at your door. If you open up the door, which you do not have to do unless they have a warrant, and if they do, they'll come in. You do not start talking about, well, I'm doing this role and we're doing this and all. That's illegal. If anything, you're having aggressive, consensual adult sex, and that's all. If you're going to bother to talk to the police like that. But you got to be very careful what you say, how you say it, what markings you leave if someone's watching, things like that. Some people like marks, some people don't.
That's interesting. Well, so what I would like to do, my friend, is I want to talk about my particular results from the BDSM test. Now, my particular kink, as it were, is, I am 86% voyeur, 73% experimentalist, 72% dominant, 66% non-monogamist, and 54% switch, 53% exhibitionist, 46% vanilla. So with all of that information, first of all, sir, I don't think I appreciate that little smirk that you just gave me. I don't think I appreciate that at all, sir.
You all. We need another show for you. It looks like.
What you mean?
No, what it's looking like for your thing. You like to have fun, take control sometimes, and you like to sit back and watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yes, I do.
And some things that you see, you may experiment a little bit. I like that. I may try that. Like that. But I don't see you as flat out having a sub that you own 24 hours a day. I don't see you into that lifestyle, being that crazy sadistic where you like to inflict pain to someone who's a masochist who likes pain.
Correct.
But you have pain people that love pain, and you have people that are sadistic that like to inflict pain.
Hold on one second, Lorenzo. To the person that just texted me, I do not appreciate the fact that you said that sounds like me. That is very hurtful. Please continue, Lorenzo.
Yeah, so that's not your thing. But you can have fun, and especially with the voyeurism. Sit back, watch, try something if you like it. And that's good. You have a lot more people that are in your class, your categories, so you can really enjoy yourself. That's somewhere where you would go to a dungeon or something like that, something hotel takeover, and have some fun there.
Yeah, I have been, and it's funny. I definitely am a watcher, and definitely to a certain extent a performer, as it were. And when I have been to a couple of dungeons, there was one here in Atlanta, and there are a couple other locations that I've been to. It is me being that, like I said, I am a writer, so I see the stories in my mind, and just to see it, taking place real time in real life is definitely right up my alley. So I can't lie to that one. But you know what though? It's funny though. It's like even with all of that, and all of these comments is you think you have people that care about you, man, but it just now. Have you seen results from the BDSMtest.org where someone didn't register at all in any way, in any percentage that would show that, hey, you know what, this is you kind of thing, or what you like?
Oh, someone that wouldn't register, you say?
Yes.
Somebody's going to come up, if they answer truthfully, they're going to come up in some category. Because if you notice the way the survey was, it's just like an interrogation if you're getting locked up. They ask the same question, maybe
that's a
6 or
flashback.
7 questions later on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was asked in different ways where they reversed it. So if you're truthful to it, then it's going to show. If you're not, you're going to slip up on some of the answers. It was just a repetition of questions on there. You just have to
Right.
look at the wording like that. But no, I can't see someone getting through that and not coming up on something. One of those questions is going to trigger something on them.
And it's so funny. I got it up on the screen, but and you had asked a question to Miss B that was speaking earlier, or at least she asked a question. What are the different types? But even with that test, and I took my this particular test because it gives you the date, October 12th. So I took it a while back. But here are some of the categories or classifications, I guess would be a better word. Like I said, I am 86% voyeur. But then going down, you have experimentalist, dominant, non-monogamist, switch, exhibitionist, vanilla, rigor, primal, which is a hunter. Yeah, that's me. Brat tamer, all day. Master/mistress, submissive, sadist, rope bunny, masochist, degrader, owner, primal/prey. I want you to define that. Daddy, mommy, degradee, brat, pet, and boy, girl. So could you break down a couple of those for me, please? As far as like, what's one in particular? What is a rigor? Let's start there.
And that could be, as far as depending on how they're going about it, could be in scenes and things like that where you're orchestrating certain scenes, rope.
Oh, okay.
Things like that. Yeah, you're in charge at that point if you're, like that. That's more of the dominant aspect of it. If you're high on rigor, you're going to be high on sadist, dominant, master, and all that kind of stuff. Brat tamer.
Mm-hmm.
You will be high in those categories. All that is more towards the dominant aspect of everything.
I just got a text from a person that asked, "What is vanilla?" Now, in your opinion, what is vanilla? And also, I'm sorry, hold on, Lorenzo. All of the things that I just listed are the results that come back. That doesn't mean that you're 100% any of those things. What it actually is saying. For instance, for me, it says I am 0% brat, 3% degradee, 3% daddy mommy, 5% slave, 11% primal prey, 14% owner, 20% degrader, 21% masochist. Wait a minute. I do have another therapy appointment coming up. Hey, go ahead, Lorenzo. What is vanilla, though?
But vanilla has been a word that's been associated with what we consider conventional, straight sex practices, like what people would consider the norm.
Okay.
The normal individuals that don't experiment in something out of their comfort zone, where people are just kind of plain. They'll associate that with missionary position sex. You'll hear that associated with it. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but you'll say, well, that's all, that's what they do in their realm. They keep a certain level and not very experimentative, and they're just vanilla individuals.
So absolutely.
And it's not to put them down, but that's just what they do. Then there's some that experiment a little bit more. They take things to a different level. But most of the world is vanilla. That's why certain movies and certain books could sell so much, because more people wanted to learn. More people were not into certain things, and that sold to that audience.
Right.
If it wasn't,
so it was a whole new world.
Yeah, if it was more vanilla people, that wouldn't have sold, because other people would have said, no, that's not how it goes. Yeah. I don't need, that's not going to help me in any way.
Which is kind of like, I think, the appeal that internet porn has, is because it's a corridor to things that people didn't even knew were out there. And I think that with the advent of the internet, and as it started picking up speed, people were able to search things as like, wait a minute, people are doing this with what? I am the single one, for instance. She's like, yo, Vanilla. You look at vanilla in the dictionary, it's going to have her picture next to it. So,
And
yeah,
you know something too, Chris. A lot of people that say no, I don't do anything. I'm just vanilla and
shit,
this
they
and
be the
that.
freakiest ones.
Yeah, sometimes when their minds are brought to a different level and they are taught certain things or experience certain things, they surprise themselves on what they may like, what they can do. They have no clue because there hasn't been anyone to bring it out of them or any situation to bring it out of them.
And it all goes back to, both what you and our first caller was saying, that it's all about trust. In that
Hmm.
once you and your partner, or once you and your practitioner, whoever you're working with, if you have established that bond of trust, then that will allow you to really and truly dig in to just everything that is out there within the realm of your particular thing, your kink, your fetish, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and that's why one of the fetishes and like OnlyFans, some of these websites, the
Mm-hmm.
look that they really like is that librarian look. If you remember, the librarian was so vanilla looking with the glasses and the longer
Mm.
skirt and everything, but in the background, it was like one of the more experimental people are the librarians, and they have their
Mm-hmm.
own look now in the fetish community. Because you can never be fooled by an appearance of somebody.
Yeah, what they say, still waters run deep.
Hmm.
Okay, going back to my quiz, because I've got a few people that are that are for whatever they're sending in text as opposed to I love my people. So
Hmm.
let me ask you this. All right. So it says that I am 11% primal slash prey. What exactly is that?
So you're prey. So you want to be captured by somebody, is what you're saying. That
Eleven
goes more.
percent, but then it says I'm 40% primal hunter.
Yeah. So that means you answered the same question in two different ways
Interesting.
without
Okay.
thinking. Yeah, because either you want to be prey or you want to be the hunter, or you're a switch sometimes, and 40% times you like to hunt, and the 20 you like to be caught.
That's interesting. Now it says here I am 36% brat tamer. What exactly is a brat?
In some dynamics in BDSM, you have a submissive that wants to just be bratty, just can't conform. But that could be in their dynamic because the Dom wants the person to be bratty. And then there's either consequences for it or that's an excitement level for both. Then you have some people that are just bratty. They just can't get along with anything, and you have to make them do what you want them to do, or they suffer certain consequences.
So I just got a text, and that person just called me a hoe.
A hoe? Did they call you a bratty hoe or just a hoe?
No, they just called me a Mitch. Man, I swear to God, I need new friends. I need now. I got a text. The question that the young lady asked is, "Where do you go for voyeurism?" I think I'll take this one. That's just what it is with voyeurism. You actually answered the question. Wherever you go, there your voyeurism is. It's just a matter of just look around. Are there cameras around? Are there people? People can be around, but they're just not they're oblivious to what it is you by yourself or you and your partner are doing. Basically, it's just you're out in the open doing what you do. That's essentially what it is. I think one way you can start is just in a car. You know, what do they call it? AKA roadhead, whatever the case may be. If you're in a car just out in the open, that's essentially voyeurism slash exhibitionism. What do you think? What do you think on that? What do you have to add, Lorenzo?
Yeah, that's exhibition if you want people to see you. If you really want to find, some voyeurism, there's a lot of places. The sex clubs, swinger clubs, things like that.
Okay.
There are people that go there to be seen.
Hmm.
There's sex clubs in different states, like
Okay.
Vegas has a couple where there are voyeurism rooms where there's a two-way mirror on the wall, so you can look into these rooms, and people pick those rooms to be watched. So there's
Yes.
plenty of places that you can, if you like to look. If you got to be careful out in public when with voyeurism also, because there's terms of like peeping tom, some things that are illegal. But in those other settings, yeah, you have places you can go to look at people that want to be seen.
Um, where are those rooms at is one question. I know there was a third club here in Atlanta, but there too. Um, not gonna give names or anything like that, but they have the rooms and basically the doors aren't locked. So if you're doing what you're doing, people can walk in, and they will walk
Hmm.
in, essentially stand around the walls and watch
Yeah, they
certain
have
things.
places specifically, yeah, specifically like
Correct.
that.
Correct.
And you'll know which rooms you can go in, which
Yep.
rooms you can't. Because there are a lot of people that like to be watched, and they
Mm.
will make sure that you see them.
Yes, they will put on a show.
You
Um,
can catch them everywhere. A cruise ship, you'll always see a couple at nighttime in the jacuzzi at night, and they'll make sure everyone sees them.
right. Um, I'm sorry, Lorenzo. It's like now my texts they're just blowing up with people asking me questions.
Yeah, see.
Okay, so let's see. One of the questions, um,
You're going to be doing a part two to this.
yeah. Hey, why you playing? No. One of the questions. This is from the same person that asked about voyeurism. She
Mm.
says, "So does masturbating in your car in public count?"
If you want to be seen, you're an exhibitionist. Some people have a kink that they like to masturbate in their car. Some like to do it in public. Some people get off by doing it in public and knowing that they can almost get caught. And I was in law enforcement. We used to catch people doing that all the time. We would catch people coming out, men dressed like women, and they would drive around at night. We had women dressed like men. We had people masturbating with anything that they can almost get caught. And sometimes they would.
Hmm.
But that was the thrill also, the act of almost getting caught, almost being seen. And then
Right.
some, because remember, depending on where you are, that's illegal. So, especially let's say you're within 1,000 feet of a school and you get caught doing
Right.
that, you're
Right.
done. But in some states, certain sex acts are illegal. So you have to know what the law is around your place. But that could be a form of exhibition if you want to be seen. It could be just a fetish to be almost caught or to get caught. Just
Hmm.
depends on what it is you like.
Back in the day, you remember Craigslist had a certain page where you could ask for certain requests. That
Hmm.
was one of the things that people would set up. Like, if you set it up to where, and I'm not going off personal, history. I've actually, like I said, I was a writer.
Hmm.
My second book, Desperately Seeking Pleasure, I really did a lot of research on certain things, right? And
Hmm.
in when I wrote that book, I went on Craigslist and just started, looking at what people were posting, and there was what they would do is say, hey, I want someone to walk by my car. I'll be parked at such and such, and I'll be, of course, they didn't say what they were going to be doing, but it was understood what it was they wanted because they
Hmm.
wanted to be watched. So in that case, it would be the person that was doing the act would be an exhibitionist, and the person that was observing the act would be a voyeur. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, and that was one of those pages. They had a whole page for that, on
Mm-hmm.
Craigslist.
Yep. And so, okay, so basically her response was, now I'm understanding the difference. Let's see.
Hmm.
One person says, oh yeah, the person that called me a Mitch, that said I was a hoe. And I am. I know you are obviously a dom by definition. You know, there's a person that is logging in now, and she was a sub. And she and I, we've had many conversations, and she's told me about the rules, the requirements, the training, quote unquote, as it were, in order to be a sub. You know, let's see. So she's gonna come on, and obviously, like I said, her face isn't gonna be shown, but it's good. It'll be interesting, I think, to hear both sides of the conversation, where you being a dom, as it were, and her being a sub. So even though she's acting a little bit brattish, I do think she needs to come on. Let's see. Someone else just texted me. My girl used to be a lesbian, then got mad at her girlfriend and started going on Craigslist. We would be so scared because she would have all of those random men at her house. First dick, and she couldn't get enough. That's interesting. Have you heard of something like that where a woman is a lesbian and did use certain things in order to explore other sides of her?
As far as going out and getting with different males and all that, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you hear that a lot. And then they find out what they truly are. They may be bisexual. And didn't know.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Renzo.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's called bisexual. That's what I'm Single one said. Um, Getting ready to wrap this thing up too. I need to have my watch on. What was my question? Okay. Now that we live in a world that's so open, so interconnected, how do you think that is going to affect kink practitioners, and also just how the underground world is? How do you think that is?
With the social media now, the being authentic in some of these fields, that's just about disappearing now because everybody wants, the little 15 minutes of fame. And social media gives you that where you can be what you really are not. You can portray anything that you want to be on social media. And it's taking away from the real trueness of true BDSM dynamics. People that really want to find out about certain fetishes they like, because they will see somebody that says, yeah, I'm into this and this. And most things are sex and money oriented. That's all they're really looking for at some point, is to have sex
Okay.
or to make money off of it. So everyone now is doing fetishes for the most part is because they're trying to get paid for something like that.
Wow.
So that has changed now. It's not that much. There's still an underground. There's still another network of people that are true to certain things that you're not going to hear about. But with social media, a lot of that has changed now. Yeah.
So someone just sent me over there. They just took the BDSM test.org, and these are their results. And this is a woman, by the way. She is 81% rope bunny, 81% submissive, 80% switch, 71% exhibitionist, 65% masochist, 64% experimentalist, 63% brat, 61% vanilla, 55% voyeur. And it goes on from there. 50% dominant.
Yeah. So she's really, she likes to have fun, but it's more on the submissive side. The rope bunny thing. She can enjoy certain types of things that are done to her and have fun with that, like that. It's not as much dominant there, but she would be great for some of these events where you do see the individual that's tied up, the one that's on display for this and that. If she gets with the right people, she can have a lot of fun. When I say that, it's like you don't want to get with the wrong people that will abuse your situation. like that, because that can be done very easily. So you don't
Okay.
want that.
All right. So here's another one. Someone else sent me their results. She is 100% voyeur, 88% experimentalist, 87% brat, 85% non-monogamous, 84% submissive. I know all this to be true. 82% exhibitionist, 80% switch, 79% rope bunny, 66% vanilla, 54% prey.
Hmm. Yeah,
That hundred that
that
100% voyeur. Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. She likes what she likes. Now, if you were having an event, you would definitely want someone like her to be at your event.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about it being uptight about this and that. That one is going to be experimental and try a lot of things and really have a fun time. That's definite on that.
So let's see. I am the single one. She says her photo might be by the brat category too. So she's both vanilla and a brat. That's interesting.
You see within your show, she's changing already.
Yes.
Little by little, and that's something. She was drinking champagne.
Right. You
Now
know
she may
what?
be a brat.
Let's go back in time because you're 100% right.
Yeah,
Let's see.
we don't forget. We don't
Oh
forget, Miss
no.
Orr.
Oh no. So let's go back. I am the single one. She said, her kinks. Let's see. Her kinks. She said, I don't have any kinks. My fetish is safety, security, and champagne in that order. Then let's go back in time. Then she said, let's see. She is not just the single one, she is the vanilla one, right?
Hmm.
Then you said, oh, I'm going down. Vanilla in the dictionary would have my photo next to it. And then would you looky here? I
Yeah,
might be
see,
a
that's
brat
something.
too. Now,
Hmm.
Lorenzo, could you tell me? And I like that. I am going to have an event though. I don't know. I'm going to do something because I do need to do a book release party. What exactly is a brat, Lorenzo, please, sir?
Yeah, brat. Like I said, it's a different dynamics. You can be bratty. You could just be where you're just not going to go along with the program. You're
Mm,
just not going to conform. You're not going to listen. You're just going to be a little bit of a pain about it. And then in the dynamics, it's why are you doing that? Is it because you like to be disciplined? Do you like to be made to do something? Does your dom like when you act bratty? So it just depends on the dynamics that you're in. Like with her, she's straight vanilla supposedly, but she likes to be bratty also. So it's like I
mm.
don't do anything, but if I ever do, I'm not gonna just do it willingly. So she may be seeking someone to make her do something. You never know.
You know, it's
She
funny that you
is
say
made.
that.
Hmm.
It's not even. I sometimes look at it's not even a matter of making her do it. It's actually allowing her to do what it was she wanted to do anyway. Because it's
Hmm.
like, and not speaking to you specifically for but certain people, it's like they want to do it,
Yeah,
but need a
yeah.
push.
On their terms, and then they could say, I didn't mean to, or they made
Right.
this. It's an excuse, but ultimately, that's what they like.
Yeah, definitely. Sir,
Hmm.
I thought we would have one more, but she's being a little bit of a brat. So
Oh, I see.
I'm going to, yes. Anyway, take care of that. Let's see. This has been a very interesting show, Lorenzo. I definitely appreciate you, my friend.
Oh, we
Thank
definitely, yeah,
you.
we got to do it again.
Oh,
There's
we
so much
definitely
more,
will.
and yeah,
We, d-
definitely.
we definitely will, man. This is Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see the problem. Yeah, you are. You're okay, Lorenzo. Let me ask you this.
Alrighty.
Um, the person that I'm speaking to, She says she's not a brat, but she is shy. I am a little bit hurt that here it is, you have two impeccable black men who know how to take care and make someone feel comfortable. Would you agree or disagree, sir?
Yeah, definitely. This is the most safest zone that she can ever appear on.
Interesting. Okay.
We wouldn't do anything to disrespect her in any way. So, if there was any chance of her coming on to a show, this is the time for her to do it.
There you go. Safe space. Let's see. Make sure I got all my questions answered. I think I do. Okay. Well, with that being said and done, Lorenzo, man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for jumping on, my man. We definitely, I think that I need to figure out exactly how we can do this again, because obviously with all of the texts. Oh, okay. Got you. I need to figure out a way we could do it again, and also bring on and have a not necessarily on the kink conversation, but more on the fetish. And there are a couple women that I'm going to reach out to, a couple people as well, because there's certain fetishes that are there. And just to have that conversation. So you never know how, we've seen people jump from champagne to, all of a sudden I may be a brat. So I really appreciate you having you on, my man. Thank you so much, brother. Definitely. Thank you, sir. Audience,
Anytime.
give my man Lorenzo a huge applause. Definitely. Thank you, sir.
Hey, let me tell them they can follow me on.
Oh, definitely. Yes, sir. Please,
Yeah.
please.
Follow me on
Yes, sir.
Twitter at Lorenzo4016. Instagram will be LorenzoG2920. Those are the best ways to get me. Some things will be coming up. I'll be doing, I do the voice work, so I may even be doing a project with Christopher Markland on some voice work.
Oh, you definitely will,
that.
sir. Yes, sir.
Stay tuned for that. And, if there's any questions like that, they can go through you or they can get me like that. We keep the dialogue open for that.
Sure. And just to let you know, one person just texted me, tell Lorenzo I'll thank him in person. You got a fan, my friend. You got a fan. I love it.
All right.
Hey, thanks again, brother. I appreciate you, man.
All righty.
I know. Yes, sir. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very, very, very fun show. Wait a minute. So, we're not done yet, Lorenzo. We are not done yet. Speaking of which, now, this isn't the same person, but this is someone else that wants to jump in. We have created a safe space and people want to join the conversation. Miss K, are you there?
Yes.
Oh. Whoa. Oh, we can hear you, but you sound real apprehensive. Well, are you okay?
I'm well.
Are you? Are you sure?
Well.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Yeah. Well, first of all,
well.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for joining the CM show. Tonight's conversation, we are talking about kinks. So before we even get started, can you tell me, ma'am, what are your kinks, if you have any?
Can you define kinks for me so that I can make sure that I'm answering this question correctly and accurately?
Sure.
Hey, Chris, find out also why she seems to be breathing a little bit hard there.
Oh, I think we'll get to that in a second. But
what is Miss K? What is Miss K up to really over there?
Yeah. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm good.
Okay. Just checking. All right, Lorenzo, can you define what a kink is for our for Miss K here?
Well, kink could be conventional sexual practice, concepts, or types of fantasies, things that you like to do, things that turn you on, like that.
Okay. Um, See, I guess for me, I
Mm-hmm.
think after I'm turned on, what happened next is kind of why I called in.
Oh, okay.
All
What
right.
what happens
So,
next?
so I don't know if it's considered the word that I'm about to say, but I've heard this layman term. Um, it's called squirting. I don't know what happens or how it happens, but I have that's what happens when I'm aroused.
Specifically speaking, aroused means one thing,
Okay.
but
Well, when I climax, I'm sorry.
okay, okay. Lorenzo, would that's not necessarily a. How would you categorize that? Is that more of a fetish?
That's just a bodily function that she has due to her arousal level.
Okay.
Some people squirt. Some people squirt all the time. Some don't squirt all the time. Sometimes it's a certain thing that sets you off. Miss K, what is it that sets you off where you squirt and squirt the most?
I think when I'm I like touch. I'm very sensual, so I get pleasure out of being touched. Um, and I guess the more that the more I'm interacting with someone, and it becomes more like we start to engage and the arts of the sexual pleasure comes, and that makes me squirt more. Like, okay, so let me just say this because I don't know how to say it in textbook terms, but in layman terms I will say this. In one setting, I can it's countless. We can't keep up. Like, I can't tell you how many times it'll happen.
Hmm.
Like,
Is it more from penetration or the sensation?
I think it's more from sensation.
Okay. So
The
someone can just blow.
penetration
They
don't
can,
hurt,
yeah,
but
they can blow. They can blow on you a certain way and you'll squirt.
or it don't even have to be in.
Yeah, it's more the sensation. Now, can you squirt from just thinking about something that brings you that pleasure?
I can, yes, I have. Like, even before I'm penetrated, like just the thought of him, like
Mm-hmm.
he won't put it in because he knows, like, I'm about to just go crazy, like, yeah. And then it
Mm-hmm.
just it just like goes across the room, like it just squirts like a
Mm-hmm.
like like a it just like you can just it's bad, it's really bad, like it goes really far
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Now, that's good. That's a good
at
thing.
times. Not every time, not every single time it's gonna be the same. Not with every single person it's gonna be the same, but I have been in situations where like this is by another mattress. I can't help you with this one. It's yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
over. It's,
So the
it's
mattress has been saturated. Is that what you're saying?
it's super soaked,
You don't wrap
and
it in
it's not.
plastic.
I mean, you like just get a shower curtain and put it down because that's kind of what works.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like a
some people
shower.
just wrap. They just wrap the mattress with plastic before you even start anything. Just.
You can, but I know a shower curtain really works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that and towels, like maybe six at a time because they're gonna be soaked. And then it's not, and I tell, I've had to say this, like, this is not like I didn't pee on anybody. That's not what it is.
No, it's not. And and
L-
and the people will understand that. Your partners have any problem with that, or
yeah, I
have
was gonna
you
ask.
They're
scared
just
some
out of
partners?
their minds. Like, what just happened? How did you do that? Can you do it again? I mean, it's kind of, I get that, but once you get to know me, it just becomes like This is a lot.
Well, have fun with it. If that's something that you do, have fun
Yeah.
with it. Grab his head, make him
Yeah.
drink all of it.
Oh, that's never an issue either.
Mm.
Yeah, that becomes, I'll say it's an acquired taste, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but usually, um, that's not a it's not a problem if
Mm-hmm.
it's someone that's aroused by what I'm doing, and they're engaging as well. It becomes, super fun, but it's just super messy. And I'm like always like, this is gonna be messy. This ain't I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what you've been I don't know where you've been, but over here this gets really, really, it can get there. Like I hope you
Have
got a washing machine handy.
have you had I don't want to say people seek you out, but have you ever had someone that was really into that and actually wanted that on you, wanted that experience?
Yeah, it's nothing that I showcase or
Got
tell.
you. Okay.
No, I'm very private. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's more so it's something that you find out if we even get to that point in our friendship or our relationship. And if not, then you just won't know that about me unless somebody else says, "Oh my God, do you know she, does X,
Right,
Y, Z?
right,
She's
right.
like then it's like, oh God, don't say that." But no,
Have you ever
I'm older, so huh?
have you ever been in a public setting and just walking around and something happened in the public like that?
So not yet, because most of the time when I find myself being aroused to the point where I'm like, when that happens, I'm literally engaging or with a partner. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're in the act. So it doesn't just happen like when I'm like walking around or I'm at work or I'm at the mall. It's more so when you're interacting or touching me
Mm-hmm.
physically, like we're about to engage in the next level.
Got you.
Will it
Like,
happen if you're touching yourself?
oh hell yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, this is an adult show, man. We're literally talking about
Sorry.
squirting, so I think a few curse words here or there is within bounds. So you're fine. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And the
Miss K,
more
Miss
the more
Miss.
vivid the conversation is, the
Mm-hmm.
more I think I engage in my mind of like what you want to do or what we can do when like when I see you or like whatever the conversation is
Mm-hmm.
when I'm trying to get to that point. But yeah, it can come out so easily, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
amazing. It's an amazing, like I don't know how it happened, but I just don't want it to stop. I'm like, ooh, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I it's just like with anything else, blessing and a curse. It's messy. It's messy. Of course, it's messy, but I would not change it for anything. It feels like the best feeling in the world. Like when I release it, and I feel like I can't hold it in. Like it has to come out,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm just gonna like explode
Mm,
It's good that you know yourself. So that's a
that
a
is
lot.
no.
so true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you have to be a person that's definitely engaged with your inner self in order to know how to ease that stress, because it can be too much and you can not know what to do with it
Mm,
if you're not sure of why you're feeling like that. So when I start feeling edgy, I'm like, oh, I know what's going on. I know what I need.
mm,
It needs release, and then when I do, and it's different levels. It's crazy, but like if I'm by myself and I'm touching myself, like that's one level. If I'm engaging with a partner, that's a totally different level. Like I ain't gonna need to be. I'm gonna be good for some weeks,
mm.
but like when by myself, like I can make it through the day. Like, oh, okay, I'm good for the day. But like, because I think my whole thing is, I enjoy the art of someone else's hand caressing my back, touching my arms, holding my hands, giving me a deep hug, or penetrating me. So that's it's how my brain processes being touched, if that helps.
It does.
Okay. It makes me feel safe.
We're all about safe spaces here. We are.
Yeah. That's
What Lorenzo just said as well to the audience is, once you know yourself, know your body, know what you like, know what you don't, and you're actually able to take yourself to places that you may not even realize that you can. So just the fact that you know, okay, I'm feeling a certain way. There's a little bit of pressure. I can release the pressure myself, or if I'm with a partner, I can, have seek them out in a way to scratch the itch. So that right there is really powerful, just to hear you say that, like, hey, when I'm feeling a certain way, or I know that, I know how to make my body function in certain ways, is a truly, truly powerful thing.
Thank you. And yeah, sometimes I can, like I said, I can come like, I don't know, a squirt for like, I don't know, it can happen like 15 times. And then I can still
You might need some of this.
know that it's not over. Like, you didn't scratch the itch. I just came alive.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's the crazy part. So, but then it can be other times where I can do it, and then I'll keep doing it, keep doing it. Then it's like the biggest one ever, and then like I'm good. You can't touch me anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's over. But I just won't. I won't know until it happens. Like sometimes I don't get satisfied. Like it just be over because he climaxed, not me. So
Hmm. So you just
I'm
you.
like, oh,
So it's a stamina issue as well. Then is. Hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I ain't done. I'm like, this sucks. Now what? Like now I gotta act like I'm. Oh yeah. I gotta go through all the mushy gushy stuff because I ain't even. I don't want to be rude. Like, oh, you didn't even help me out. Like,
Hmm.
damn, how many times you gonna come? So I've been through it, and then I have to know that in my mind that's really aggressive, but it's not my fault. I'm not done. So I have to learn how to now take myself to either suppress it or just try to find a way to get it out or like not be done. I don't even know how that sounds, y'all. I'm sorry because that sounds
No. No.
but I'm just being honest because I don't. So like it's hard to satisfy me, but I don't want guys to know that because then who wants to think they dealing with a nympho and it's not that. It's just that I I ain't finished.
Hmm.
I'm not done yet. So I'm still right here. He's like, God damn, you came 15 times. Yeah, about that. I need about 10 more, and I think I'm gonna be there.
You
Like I don't
think?
want to sound like that.
You know what? You know what I'm hearing from you right now. It sounds like you haven't had a safe space to even talk about this. It's a natural thing for you. It is your body. It's something obviously that
Hello,
you
did
have.
I lose you? I'm
Uh,
sorry.
no, you're fine. Are you back? Yeah, it looks like it
Yeah,
went out for a
sorry.
second. No, you're good. What I was saying was this: just listening to you now, it's like listening to all of the words just come tumbling out. What it sounds like to me is that you haven't had an opportunity to actually be able to honestly talk about your feelings when it comes to this. So now
I have
that you,
never,
yeah, now
never,
that you have that opportunity, it's just coming out and literally.
So like I
But
was afraid to call in because I'm like, oh no, somebody might know my voice, but I don't care. I mean, you said it's a safe space, and I believe you when you say that. And I think for me, it's more so to honestly understand a person that may be in my situation that you may meet, so
okay,
that you look at us as if we're some type of I don't know, jacking about. That might be the wrong term, but like this. sex machine that never turns off. But I mean, we truly have to suppress this type of urge or this situation when it doesn't run its course.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are times that I am just like, I have not been fulfilled. And there's other times that I'm like crawling out the room, like, let me go. I'm about to die. So I can't tell you it's every time. I can't say that one type of person fits the script more than someone else. I don't know why, but I just know that I unless I'm to the point where I'm maxed out, then
Yeah.
I'm suppressing. I'm already in my head having to suppress it because I already know this ain't gonna work.
Mm.
Like this truly ain't gonna. And it's at that point, it's nothing else that I can do to suffice until I get by myself in a safe space to where I can then try to work it out. It usually doesn't work like that because now I want to be touched. It's like you wake up something. It's like she's dormant until you wake her up. So then,
That's something that I have heard. Hey, Miss K, we definitely appreciate you calling in, and I'm glad that we were able to provide you with that safe space that you obviously needed. You needed to get this off your chest and to let it out. So definitely, and keep this is also. Thank you again for joining. I'm about to wrap this thing up real quick. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you as well.
So, let me do this. Yeah, that was
more than you expected tonight.
Huh? Yeah.
A little more than you expected tonight there.
No. You know what? Yeah, a little bit. I will say this. One thing us dudes, or a lot of dudes are guilty of, me included, is talking ourselves out of certain experiences. And what our words do is that they don't create the safe space that's necessary to create the landing strip for pleasure to come in on. And just listening to that last caller, you could just hear it. Oh, I can talk? Okay, well, this is the issue that, and it's so fascinating for that to happen. And I think that happens so many times when it comes to just kinks in general. Our very first caller, the Miss T, that was, the foot fetish, she was saying the same thing, that she provided her clients with a safe space. What is your experience on that when it comes to the kink world, Lorenzo?
Yeah, that's rare. That's the trust issue is so important, and there's not a lot of that. So a lot of people are keeping stuff suppressed, and they never are able to achieve a certain thing. So they're searching, and like I say, with social media, they're not really finding what they're looking for. So there's a lot of people that are really very discouraged out there. So if we can provide more places like this discussion here, where people can really be able to express themselves in a safe and an environment where they're not going to feel like embarrassed or something's wrong with them. That's what we need more of, and it has to start somewhere. So this is a good platform for something like that.
Yo, sir, I appreciate that. Hopefully we can actually leave, but we're here to please. So if a caller comes in and is like, hey, I need some of that safe space y'all were offering, we're definitely here for them. So let's see. All right. I think we are good to go. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see what we got here. One more person just submitted their test results. You ready for it, sir?
Let's get this one here.
All right. So, got a text. Nice to know that there's another filler squirter. All right. Let's see. This particular individual, another Miss T, she says her results are 87% switch, 81% rope bunny, 76% submissive, 71% experimentalist, 70% masochist, 57% voyeur, 50% exhibitionist, 49% vanilla, 48% dominant, 46% brat, and 45% primal, where she is the prey. What say you, sir?
Yeah, she is on the submissive side, but experimental submissive. She really wants to try a lot of things and is willing to do that, which is good. And she's honest about that. So she will have fun. Just take her time and be careful out there like that. But with all the things that she wants to do, she seeks, she desires, and she knows what she wants, and she can have fun with it.
So
Definitely have fun with it.
So it sounds like she's looking for both a partner to explore that with, and also a location, a venue, as it were.
That would be good. Yeah.
Okay.
Where she could enjoy certain things, certain scenes, role play, voyeurism, all that kind of stuff, and be in a safe spot with a individual that can provide that safety, that can give the guidance, that can be there for her.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, sir, I think we're good to go to wrap this one up. Again,
Yeah.
this has been a marathon, my man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
We definitely
we'll do it
will do this one again. Thank you, sir. All right. Have a good one, brother.
Take care of yourself.
You as well, man. Yep. All right. So that was definitely, this is a fun show. This is truly a fun show. Let's see. These texts, y'all know you could put this in. Anyway, all of the results of your audience point to submissive, which should be there by nature. A submissive woman. Makes sense. Huh. Makes total sense. Y'all, let's wrap this show up. This one has been fun. I really appreciate everyone taking the test and sending me the results, even though, it does point to, we all have desires. We all have things that we want to explore, tap into, test, taste, all of those good things. That definitely showed that we all want to do certain things. It's just a matter of having the safe space to, first of all, talk about it. Now, I mentioned this earlier. Come on. I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about what it means when it comes to trust. And one of those things is that, can't even think, I can't find it. But anyway, it'll come to me in a second. But what I mentioned before is that for me, and everyone has their big three, but for me, the big three: sex, finances, trust, and communication. If you have those three, imagine that stool, then on top of the stool sits trust. If you trust your partner to be able to communicate about sex, then there are endless opportunities that could open up to where you could actually tap into your kinks, your fetishes, whatever the case may be, because you're in a safe environment where there's trust on both sides. Because remember, like we've been talking about BDSM for the most part, but every dom needs a sub and every sub needs a dom, and there's a trust dynamic for both roles in that particular relationship. When it comes to, no matter, even if you're vanilla, like, I am the single one said, then so be it. But there still needs to be that element of trust. So with that being said, this show was fun. Next week, the fun continues. Now, next week is a week before Thanksgiving, right? So, of course, when you have the turkey, the ham, the lamb, the chicken, all of that, you also have to have side dishes, or as they like to call them, side pieces. So next week Kitchen for Thanksgiving. We're going to be talking about the stuff that happens outside of the kitchen. Have I ever been a side piece? I don't think. Yes, oh shit, I have been a side piece. I feel so cheap all of a sudden. Anyway, we're going to talk about it next week. You heard Lorenzo mention it as well. Next. Also, y'all, if you haven't already done so, please, 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 please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel, please. And make sure you hit the notification bell. We do these shows once a week. But also, I do have other shows as well. And plus, we're going to be doing a few other things. Again, shout out to my man Lorenzo. Definitely appreciate him coming through and adding his level of expertise to what it is that we do around here. Y'all, we're getting into the holiday season. Y'all take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Stay determined.